Good morning, and welcome to the Crossroads, where I, Cheryl, Dr. Tabitha, I'm going to train them this morning. We have been, first of all, I'm sorry I started to get right into the training, but thank you so much for allowing me to enter into your presence in your home. As you sit, maybe get your coffee, cross your leg, do whatever you do whenever you watch these teachings. But I just wanted to say thank you on this morning for tuning in with us and allowing me to enter into your presence to give you this particular training session. Now, we have been talking about encounters. I have been teaching and talking about encounters now for a minute. And what I really understand is that as long as we continue to live in this life, we are going to have encounters. We are going to have encounters, but the encounters that I want to talk about on this morning, it deals with attractions and distractions. I had the privilege of talking to a very, very prominent person in our community. And when I said in our community, I'm talking about in Kingdom. I was in conversation with this Kingdom individual, and we were discussing, it was an issue, or we were contemplating some things, I'll say it like that. And she said that, when sometimes things can come to distract you. And I didn't say anything, but no more than to agree with her. But after the fact, I went off and that thing began to resonate in my spirit. And that is so true. We have to be so careful of the encounters we have. How many times can you say after an encounter with an individual, how many times can you say, I wish I never met that person? I wish our paths never crossed. There are those people that we do run into, and we say that the encounter we had was difficult, it was bad, or whatever adjective you want to use to describe it. I really do tend to focus on those encounters a little bit more than I do on the good encounter. And we try to brush that encounter off, and we'll say something about it, and then we'll pretend and we'll go on like it doesn't exist anymore. But that is an encounter that we always wish that we never have again. But we will have. And we will have encounters like that you wish that the encounter you had with the person you had it with, that you never have another one like that, and you also wish that you never had that one. That's the encounter you really need to focus on. That's the encounter that you really need to dissect. That's the encounter that you really, really need to tear apart. Because if all things work together for good, see, we can't forget how we can say scriptures and not really understand the meaning of the scripture and what's going to come from that scripture and what was the reason why that scripture was written in the first place. We are creatures of habit. And one thing we like is we like good things. We like to feel good. We like to look good. We like to be treated good. And all of these things are what we take for ourselves. But when we focus on ourselves more so than we focus on somebody else, of course, the Bible tells us that we have to love, others and everybody else as we do ourselves. And some of these encounters come to break up, to cause us to break up our fallow ground and our shallow ground, because we're the only ones that's in that ground. I mean, we're the only one. It's all about me. It's all about me. And sometimes you need these encounters to get you off of you, to get you out of you. to get you away from you, to get you to stand back and to really see you, and to see who you are, and to see what you are, to see what you're doing. Self-examination comes from bad encounters. It should. But sometimes we stick so tough to making the encounter with the person that we have. We make it about how ruthless, bad, unprofessional, whatever that particular person was, in light of not seeing ourselves.
All right.
You see, whenever darkness comes, and darkness is present, whenever we can literally see what it is we're supposed to see and to get out of it what we're supposed to get, then there is no darkness anymore. Light has come, and light overshadows darkness. So bad encounters are good encounters, if what is written is true. If all things, it did not separate the things. It says, and we know. See, we don't want to get the knowledge that's needed to be able to see, that our eyes be enlightened, our minds be enlightened, and we even be enlightened to who it is we think we are. Yes, your thoughts about yourself, my thoughts about myself, they are fleeting thoughts. Let me prove it. Because regardless of who I think I am today, this afternoon, whenever I literally go home, and I don't wear makeup and stuff now. I'll put some Vaseline on my lip or whatever and might line my lip. But whenever I go home and I take that off, then there's another person. There's a real person that I see. You can think of what it is you want to be, who it is you want to be, how it is you want to look, and you can add that to yourself. You have self-encounters with yourself all the time, and you're literally always trying to design yourself or to make yourself be who you will be pleased with as being yourself. We add to, we take away from. We increase, we decrease. But the encounters that we have to be really careful, because sometimes after leaving and saying all that I just said, let's deal with another area of encounters. The first thing that when I woke up on this morning, oh my goodness, this was so profound to me. I heard this in my spirit. The toughest thing that you think that there is for you to do, you find out whenever you begin. It's not difficult at all.
Right. So true.
Now, let me tell you, because I'm a person that when I get things like that, whenever God begins to download, I begin to look at different areas in lives. Listen at this. This is what I'm about to tell you is phenomenal. And I promise you, this will change your life. All the lies that you're holding in. I didn't say untruths. I said lies. Let's call it what it is. When you begin to open your mouth and you begin to tell the truth and make that lie the truth, once you start speaking, you just get into a vein and you begin to tell it and you begin to speak, and that fear from what that lie held in you, it releases itself from the words that you're speaking, and you begin to flow and you begin to say, oh my God, when you get that freedom because truth has making you free, man, you feel like you got wings. And then you look, and when you finish speaking the truth, you stand there and you look like, well, no, that's all I had to do. and a weight. See, the encounter we need to have with ourselves, that self-encounter lifts weights off of us, and it releases us to really be and to be able to see the image and the likeness of who God really created us to be. I know as a young girl coming up, our parents used to say, you know, if you tell one lie, you got to tell another one to prop that one up. You know, that, you know, we came up, as I was saying before we hit the air, before we went live, I came up with some things. You know, my parents, they taught us, they said, you know, if you lie, you'll steal. You know, and so whenever we thought about it, you know, we would think, well, but if we do it, there's a worse thing on the other end of it that could produce a worse thing for my life. So it always gave us the option to consider what it was we were going to do, and had already knowing the outcome. Because I don't know about you, but I believe my parents. I believe them. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I believe them. And some of the things that were said are some of the things that I literally live by. And not to be able to have those encounters that produced at the end of the encounter a worse thing. I know this much to be true, not just for lying, just for anything. Even I know me personally, I'm a person that don't like quote unquote change. I don't adapt to new. I will adapt, but whenever it first comes out, I can pick it apart. I can find everything that's wrong that makes me not want to go into doing it or not to be able to receive it. But whenever it's mandatory, and why that's just it. Why do things have to be mandatory in order to get us to do it? You know, but just me being the person that I am, when I know that this is what it's going to be anyway, I go through the struggle of me. I encounter myself with what it is I'm about to face. I have to encounter me, and then I have that struggle within myself, and I have to win. I have to win because I have to do what it is that's set before me to do, whether I want to do it or not. And that's the problem. A lot of us struggle within ourselves to do things or to get things accomplished or to say things or to be things or to make things happen. And a lot of times the struggle wins. That's why you can say the struggle is real. My struggle is not real, not whenever I'm the overcomer. When you can tell me the struggle is real, it's because you're struggling with yourself and yourself is winning. The struggle has literally taken over you, and you have literally died in that place. You've given up in that place. You've given over in that place, and you've given to the struggle what the struggle came to produce for you in your life, which was nothing, which was to keep you right there where you are. We're going to have encounters all the time. Just make sure, finishing that, let's move on. Just make sure that the encounter, because sometimes we are a creature of habits. Whenever somebody calls us or they say things, what is our first thing? What happened? Where are you? What happened? What's going on? We then, because they have knocked on our door, rung our bell, dialed our number, we immediately go into the encounter with them. But is that our encounter for us to go into?
Okay.
Just because somebody is calling you, telling you stuff, you got to know how to do yourself for yourself. You got to understand that and sing it like Yolanda Adams singing. For real, the battle is not yours. You got to know whose battle it is. Everybody's encounter should not be your encounter.
Amen. Yes.
Sometimes we can't even come out of what we're in, and then somebody else is calling us and putting us in what they're in, that's why the struggle is real. You got to know what attracts versus what distracts. We really do. You have to know what attracts, because every attraction is just like we were saying on last Sunday. You know, every door that's open is not an anointed door. You can walk into it because it looked good, and you can peep into it and see what's in there, and you like, this is what I wanted. But you know what? But what's to say if what's behind that door or what's in that room was literally for you? Sometimes we have to know how to look at things, look into things, hear things, and realize that door was not anointed for me. That encounter is not anointed for me. And if you can't determine that, and you find yourself locked into that, you see yourself going into that, then we start having opinions, we start giving advice, issuing out and dishing out, our thoughts. No. Know what the word says. Know how to guard your heart against what's coming into your heart. Which is your heart, y'all, is just literally your mind. Know how to guard your mind. Know when somebody calls you and what they're about to dump on you, in you. Know whether or not to open that door or whether or not to keep that door closed. Because the first thing that we were talking about, and I'm really almost done for today, at least on this end of it, we're talking about the season of preparation. Being prepared. That's a part of it. We have daily encounters with ourselves every day. And then those encounters are to lead us to have the encounter with God. We have said, and this is so true, you cannot have an encounter with God and remain the same. But you can encounter people and remain the same. Because if the encounter that you have with people is not directed from the God that you've had the encounter with, then when you encounter people, you're not going to know what to take from the encounter, and to be able to know what to give that person in that encounter. Because it works both ways. It works both ways. A lot of people want to encounter, I'm done with that. A lot of people want to encounter other people because of what they believe that person can do for them.
Amen.
And they look at people and they see what they already have, and then they try to figure out how they can then now have an encounter with them to get what that person has, or to get or gain access to that person so that that person can give them what it is they already have. If you're not led spiritually, then you're going to make and create a disaster, sometimes in which you can never be able to get out of. That's why it pays us to encounter ourselves and to be able to tell ourselves the truth about ourselves so that we can get the help from God that we need to really be. And if we're not already, that's what the season of preparation is designed to do. It is designed to help us become. And some of us really need to tear down who it is we are. And say, okay, God, I'm ready for this encounter from you. Because, truth be told, none of us are perfect. And a lot of us that's not perfect are perfectly satisfied staying not perfect. It's only until the hurt comes from having an encounter, that same encounter that you have encountered, that is not good, but you choose to remain and not tell yourself the truth so you can be released from that encounter. That sometimes, and I've always said this and I'll continue to say it, God will use that same thing that you have made your God, and he'll make that God turn around, and he'll use it and whip you with it. Oh, but I look. This is the season. This is the season of preparation. So, I mean, I have another challenge. Just, and I just say, you know, you can just prepare. It's just prepare to be sick of me. Just, you know, that's what this. I've heard this man say this thing, and I'm telling you, because I'm going to talk about encounters, and until we really get to the place where we realize, as long as I'm living, I'm going to have encounters. I need to know whether it's coming to distract me, to keep me off my course, or to try to take me off the course in which I'm going, or if this encounter, you know, is going to add something to me. See, the addition and the subtraction, we always get that in encounters. Something I asked them this morning, I said, who we are right now, what we have right now, and I say this to you too, what you know right now. Until something else is added to you or given to you, shown to you, that then you will have the opportunity to make the decision on what you're going to do with what it is you see. Until any one of those things happen right now, we are the sum total of who we are. Nothing more, nothing less. What I know, I know. Every place I've been up until where I am now, that's all I know. But there are places before me. There are things before me. But right now, today, we are the sum total of who it is we are. And we have not yet stopped having the encounters that we're going to have in order to become more than what we are. Because trust me, there is more. And the more that there is, I think our society today is always thinking, anytime there's an addition, you always want it to be monetary, you want it to be money. What about more grace? Woo! What about more power? What about the ability to do more in the kingdom? What about more stamina, or more, whatever it takes for you to become or to make what your environment better? It's more to it than money. But because that's what we're all rooted in, because that's what you love, and that's what you love it. That's why you're working. You're working for what? Money. You're not working for the encounters. I heard him say, it is him that gives us the power to get wealth. If you want to be rich, it's going to take power. And the power comes from God. Encounters on this morning. Know which one, and soak, literally, meditate in the ones that rubbed you the wrong way, that you came out mad. Those type of encounters are revealing you to yourself. Remember what you said to the person that you had the encounter with. Remember how you acted. You know, that person came into your space, into your presence. And that person's, what they said, how they looked, or what they did are a combination of all three, 1, 2, or 3. It produced a reaction from you. And that reaction is what you really need to go and you really need to pull it and pick it apart to see what it is about you that you are concealing that they have uncovered. And
All right.
be happy. Be happy. Because all they're doing is showing you, if we want to be pleasing in the sight of God, all they're showing you is what God is not pleased with about you.
Come on.
That's all that is. And we think we're perfect in this society. But God said, the perfection that we really have to be is the reason why these encounters are coming. Because we've already measured ourselves up in this life to say, well, if this life say the definition of perfect is if you have this, you make this, you do this, you live here, you do that. I've obtained all of that, so I am perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's for what they say, but there's another culture. And this culture here says that, what you received in this one and how you climbed the ladder and how you got there, that's what makes you imperfect. Because climbing the ladder and getting what you got, you offended some people. You hurt some people. You stole from some people. You lied to some people. All to get to where you are. And what proves it? I got here by the sweat of my brow. I know you did. Because you took long nights and days figuring out how you was going to get over on people, how you was going to use this one to get that. Yeah, and that, seriously, pressure from the mind will do that. It'll do that to us. But on a positive note, I'm done with that. As long as we're living, we're going to have encounters. I can't tell you what the next segment I'm speaking about encounters will be, but it will. I looked out this morning as we have standing room only in here. I looked out this morning and there was I literally thought, and I laughed within myself. I thought about the scripture, and I'm getting ready to close. I thought about the scripture that said, when God said, let the wheat and the tare grow together. He said at the end, he said he'll do the separating. Truth is a divider. Truth will cut you away from what's not true. And as I looked, and I used to see familiar faces, and as I said, other people, have come and have literally taken those seats. But I want to say to everybody on today, everybody, don't give up. I'm so serious about this. Don't give up. The worst thing that we can do is to put ourselves out to people as being who we would like to be, or where we even think that we are in life at that particular time. And then something comes against who we believed we are, who we believed we were. And then we go into a place where we hide, we withdraw. Don't give up. That's all I'm going to say. Don't give up. The encounter that you're having with yourself, the struggle, what you thought, what you believe, what you're finding out that's not true, what you're finding out that you could not live up to, what you have said that you did not do, don't give up. Out of sight don't really mean out of mind. Because number one, you're never out of the sight of God. You need to just really get back in place and to understand that this may be one time, this may be the third time, the fifth time, the fourth time. Don't give up. Find out who you are and overcome the struggle. Never let it be said that the struggle was real. Never let it be said that the struggle was real, but let it be said that the encounter you had with yourself caused a struggle within you, and you became the victor. You overcame. All you have to do is just begin again. Begin again. And you'll find out just how easy it is to walk in truth thereafter. God bless you on today. And I pray that you all have a marvelous and a wonderful week. And I pray that it's very productive. And if those things happen, then the blessor will bless you. Take care. God bless you.